Yes, ma'am. Shall we start? Yes, ma'am. Shall we start? Finally set అయిందా? Yes, very good morning to all of you. Okay. So now we can start with the one chapter today. So whatever that extent we can complete, we will try to close it. Right? So what is the name of the chapter now we are going to start? Super. Okay. What is it weightage? Sir, remember this is the most important chapter in our CMA final. So we can expect around 30 marks, sir. Definitely. We can expect around 30 marks. Sir, how, sir? So how we can expect the 30 marks from this chapter? I will tell you clearly. Then after we can start. So if you observe, we have an descriptive questions. Any, that means one descriptive question they can give. Another descriptive also. Totally they will give 3 descriptive questions for 7 marks. Sir, in my view, if they are given any 7 mark question in any question also, like 5A or 8A, 9, okay, 9 is not there, 2A, anything also you have to write it down. But general trend in 6 or 7th question they are going to give, but in last attempt they given in 8th question also. Totally 3 descriptive questions they will give. For how many marks? 21 marks. Yes, average they will give 3 to 4 MCQs. Okay, 3 MCQs, 6 marks. Totally 27 marks weightage. Not in one attempt, sir. In all attempts they are going to give this weightage. In all attempts they are going to give this weightage only. So please try to follow each and everything. So please try to follow each and everything. Automatically at the end of the session you will get more and more clarity. Yes, shall we? Yes, ma'am. So before going to start this chapter, first I want to tell you, so we have an concept of tax avoidance. What do you mean by the tax avoidance first of all? What do you mean by the tax avoidance, sir? A reduction of tax liability or reducing our total income by using loopholes given in Income Tax Act 1961. Whatever the loopholes are there in Income Tax Act 1961, by using the loopholes, by using the drafting mistakes, if you reduced your tax liability, yes, if you reduced your tax liability, that is called as what, ma? Tax avoidance. Sir, if any tax avoidance is there, automatically we have to prevent the tax avoidance. We can encourage the tax planning, but we need to prevent the tax avoidance. In order to avoid the, in order to prevent the tax avoidance, we have an general anti-avoidance rules as well as specific anti-avoidance rules. So nothing but anti-avoidance, that means we are preventing the what, ma? Tax avoidance. So this is our separate chapter. If you observe, it is only our separate chapter. What is the chapter name? General anti-avoidance. Sir, when we can use the general anti-avoidance rules, sir? If there is no specific anti-avoidance rules, automatically we have to use the general anti-avoidance rule. So what do you mean by the specific anti-avoidance rules? In Act itself, that means in sections itself, they will write provisions in order to prevent the tax avoidance. Example I will tell you, clubbing provisions. Sir, I am diverting some property to minor. But obviously minor's income shall be clubbed in the hands of whom? Parents whose total income is higher. So that means even though if you are trying to do the tax avoidance in act itself, in specific sections itself, they are preventing the tax avoidance by using the specific and the avoidance rule. So now why we are discussing this? Entire our transfer pricing chapter is an example of specific and the avoidance rule. So many SSCs are nothing but companies. So multinational companies are trying to avoid the what tax. So now we want to prevent the tax avoidance by using the specific and the avoidance rule. By using the what? Specific and the avoidance rule. So in capital gain chapter, in PCBP chapter, yes, we have these provisions of what are that? 43 CA as well as 50 C. Okay, if you want to know that also, if you are selling your immovable property, yes ma, 110% of actual consideration is less than what ma? Stamp duty value. At least you have to sold your property for stamp duty value. If you are selling less than the stamp duty value, for calculating the PCBP or for calculating the capital gain, what is the consideration you have to take in this case? If you are intentionally selling less than the stamp duty value, you have to take the stamp duty value only as a consideration. Because of this provision, we are preventing the tax avoidance. Sir, example, 10 lakh is a stamp duty value. We are selling for 2 lakh. So, but you have to take for computing PCBP capital gain, what you have to take? Stamp duty value. That means indirectly we are preventing the tax avoidance specifically by using the provisions in Act. So one chapter in our Income Tax Act 1961 is an transfer pricing. By using this, department is preventing the what? Tax avoidance. Now we can take one example how they are preventing the tax avoidance also. Shall we? Yes. Now if you listen this example, then further chapter you can understood easily. Okay, listen carefully. Whatever I am highlighting, please listen. India, okay, and country X, two countries. India and country X. So in India, our company name is what? A Limited. In India, our company name is nothing but what? A Limited. So in foreign, another company, what is that? B Limited. What is the relationship between these two companies? Our company is holding company and B Limited is subsidiary company. Now listen. In India, what is the tax rate? 30%. You know, for domestic companies, 30% tax rate is there. In foreign, tax rate is no tax or low tax. Nothing but that is only tax haven. If any country is collecting the low taxes or no taxes, that countries we can call it as what? Tax havens. Now, in between these two companies, so normally we can call these two companies as an related parties because holding and subsidiary relationship is there. But we can't call in our act as an related parties. In act we have to call these companies as an what? Associated enterprise. What is that? Associated enterprise. Now in between these associated enterprises, we have one transaction. What is a transaction? Please read. Purchase of computers. Who purchased the computers? Indian company. For Indian company, it is an purchases. Now, what is the price we paid? What is the price we paid for purchase of each and every computer? Listen. Order 18,000. Sir, if these two companies are associated with each other, that price is fair price or not a fair price? Not a fair price. Because influence is there. In this situation, that is not a fair price. In this chapter, our 7-mark question always, we have to calculate what? Arm's length price. We have to calculate arm's length price. So now, our target to compute arm's length price. Okay, we computed what is the price per each computer ma? 12,000. Now please observe, you have to pay only 12,000, but you paid how much ma? 18,000. So excessively paid or short paid ra? Excessively paid. Because of this excessive payment, our Indian company net profit, how much extent is reduced? 6,000 per computer extent reduced. Understood all of you? Again I am asking to you, because of this excessive payment, how much extent of profit reduced in our Indian company hands? 6,000. That means net profit reduced means automatically total income also will reduce. How much? 6,000. Listen carefully. Automatically, whose total income will increase? They have to receive 12,000, but they received actually 18,000. How much extent increased? Sir, many of you can say, sir, in our hands decreased, sir. In our related party hands increased, sir. One and the same. How you can say one and the same? Example, here, even though they got more and more profit, more and more total income also, they no need to pay tax. Understood? Simply we are diverting our profits to our related party. They don't have any requirement to pay the tax in their territory. So now tell me, we are avoiding the tax or not in this case? Simply we are avoiding the tax in this case. So now, yes, in this situation, we have to apply the transfer pricing provision. That is only specific anti-avoidance rule. So now, what we can do? How much decrease it? So simply we can increase the 6,000. That is only application of transfer pricing provision. Based on transfer pricing provision, what is the total income we have to increase? 6,000. Which company total income we have to increase here? A Limited. That means our Indian company. All of you understood? Yes, sir, in our situation, our entity is doing the purchases. If it is sales, we have to think like sales only. Understood? Example, yes ma, in this case, it is an purchase. Okay, coming to that problems, we can discuss sales related points also. Whenever, if any associated enterprises entered into a transaction, definitely that should be entered with the arm's length price. Other than that, if they entered, we have to apply the transfer pricing provisions. Clear? Now, next page. Simply, what do you mean by the transfer pricing provisions, What do you mean by the transfer pricing provisions? Simply, we have to apply the arm's length price. Okay, in our example, what is that actual transaction price? 18,000. Instead of that 18,000, we applied the arm's length price. How much? 12,000. That is only called as what? Transfer pricing provision. So, this transfer pricing provisions, we have to apply in the two transactions. One is international transaction. Second one is an specified domestic transaction. You don't know anything. Okay. Just if you listen till first half an hour, I will go in a slow way. If you understood the soul as well as the concept of this chapter, automatically we can learn everything at the end of the sessions. Okay. If any one part is missed, okay, in entire transfer pricing, today we allocated for transfer pricing. Okay, if any one of the part of the transfer pricing chapter is missed, evening I will upload that video directly. I have 5 to 6 batches of videos. Okay, so any part if missed, then I will upload it as a second part of the transfer pricing. But I don't want to skip any important thing, and I don't want to, okay, the students are came for the face-to-face sessions or live or whatever it may be. I will tell you only half. Remaining off, I will tell you in the next attempt. I don't have that much of intentions. I will tell you clearly. If you use it this session, automatically you can write the answer. No one can understood the 100% of the syllabus, 100% of the class. If you not understood any point, skip that and follow with the next point. If any doubt is there, then I will allocate 15 to 20 minutes time after the class. You can ask. Or Telegram or WhatsApp or any other thing also there. Okay, listen. So for which transactions we have to apply the transfer pricing provision? International transaction, specified domestic transaction. Now our discussion turn to international transaction meaning. International transaction meaning expressed in which section ma? 92B. Okay, in this chapter we have to learn the section numbers also. First you have to remember that. You have to remember section numbers also. First section I introduce. What is that? 92B. Capital B or small b? That is also matter. 92 capital B. Capital B, not B. Okay. Now, if any transaction between the associated enterprises. Sir, in our last example, purchase of computer, is a transaction or not? Between associated enterprises or not? But at least one of the associated enterprise must be non-resident. Okay. Already in our earlier example, who is a non-resident ma? B Limited. So that's why we can call the transaction as an international transaction. Now, okay, by using this, you can say definition, any transaction between any, that may be purchase, sale, leasing, interest taken, interest given, loan taken, guarantee given, guarantee taken, anything also, any transaction also happened between the two associated enterprise. At least one of the associated enterprises is a non-resident. The transaction is treated as international transaction. Now, international transaction includes the what ma? Deemed international transaction also. International transaction includes what ma? Deemed international transaction. Now I will tell you this example. By using this example easily you can understand. Related parties directly entered into transaction. One is non-resident. You are saying international transaction and you are applying what? Arm's length price. So that's why, yes. Now we are finding in one innovative way, but they identified this innovative way also and they classified this transaction also what? International transaction, but deemed international transaction. Okay, in India, outside India, in India, A Limited, sorry, in outside India, A Limited is there, that is a parent company, and here C Limited is their subsidiary. These two companies are what ma? Associated enterprise, holding and subsidiary relationship is there, right? So now, if they entered into transaction, you can call this as a what ma? International transaction. So that's why they don't want to enter directly. So that's why they identified one unrelated party. So this unrelated party nowhere related to A Limited, nowhere related to B Limited. So now C Limited wants some services. Who provided the services? Unrelated party provided the services. But unrelated party provided the services based on whose directions ma? A Limited directions. Simply first I approached the unrelated party, then after they provided services to my related party. So remember what is the date? 6/6/2025 they provided services, but prior agreement already in between them. So here if you remove this, automatically this is what ma? International transaction. Now in this case, important point, this transaction whatever is there, that is treated as what ma? Deemed international transaction. So now whatever the transaction between the unrelated party and C Limited subject to transfer pricing provision. Why? Automatically you know already, if it is an international transaction we have to apply the transfer pricing provision. If it is deemed international transaction also we have to apply the transfer pricing provision. But in this you can confuse only one point. This transaction is international, this transaction is international. This is an international. Why? So both are one and only. They are only providing services to their related party. So that's why unrelated party C Limited, whatever the transaction is there, that is only we can treat it as an deemed international transaction. Clear up to now? All of you? Now we can go further. One more important point. Listen. In our example, purchase of computers, entire chapter I will use that example only. Listen. Sir, if I applied the ALP, means if I applied the transfer pricing provisions in an international transaction, What happened, ma? Total income increased, right? What happened, ra? Total income increased. Or some cases loss can be reduced also. Then only transfer pricing provisions will apply. Then only transfer pricing provisions will apply. Suppose reverse case. Okay, reverse case. Okay, what is a reverse case? I will tell you. My purchase of computers, ALP, ATP. ATP is how much, ma? 18,000. ALP is 25,000. Now, if I am applying the ALP into international transaction, our total income will reduce, right? Ma, because previous purchase of computers example, what we have to pay, 25, but we paid only how much, ma? 18,000. Reverse case. So now simply if I am applying the, okay, if you are confusing, then I will take these figures in that example only directly. Okay, so now listen, ALP is 25,000. ALP is how much, ma? 25,000. Now you have to debit how much, ma? 25, but you debited how much? 18 only. If I am debited more now by applying the transfer pricing provision, our total income will reduce. So now please observe what happened, ma? Total income will reduce. If it is loss, it will increase. Here clearly you have to write transfer pricing provisions will not apply. So means this transfer pricing provisions only applicable if SSC income will increase or loss decrease. Means these provisions are favorable to whom? Department, not for SSC. Sir, if you avoid the tax, I want to prevent the tax avoidance. So that means this is only we have to think. Understood all of you? Ma, this is a very important point. In exam, so always you have to compute ALP. That ALP we have to apply into international transaction. If total income increased or loss decreased, yes, you can increase the total income, you can decrease the loss. But if it is reverse case, then simply you have to put a note point, transfer pricing provisions are not applicable in this case. Understood all of you? Yes. Now, sir, what are the concepts we are going to learn in this chapter, sir? The mainly, okay. First, I will cover the associated enterprises concept. Very easy concept, and we can expect 7-mark question easy. Associated enterprises meaning, you know already international transaction means transaction between two associated enterprises. At least one of the associated enterprises and non-resident. Now we'll discuss what do you mean by the associated enterprises. First discussion, that is one. Second, yes ma, methods of arm's length price. Sir, we have to compute the what ma? Arm's length price. That is only the very important question in our chapter. Computation of what ma? Arm's length price. Second over. Then advance pricing agreement. I don't want to tell you anything about what do you mean by the advance pricing agreement also now. In that concept, we can discuss what do you mean by the advance pricing agreement. Next one, ma, primary adjustment, secondary adjustment. Next one, ma, thin capitalization. Thin capitalization. Ma, I'm classifying remaining all concepts as an other concept. Many are thinking that other concept means miscellaneous. No, no, no. In this chapter, every concept is important only. Or if you want to take the choice of any chapter, you can take, no problem. But you have to prepare transfer pricing chapter 100%. You have to prepare how much extent we understood it and how much extent we can remember, that is different thing. But you have to prepare each and every corner from this chapter. So other concept means remaining every concept will discuss as another concept. Sir, I don't have that much of time also, sir. Tell me, okay, one concept, always I need to get that question. last 10 attempts, if you taken, every time you can get the question from what ma? Huh? Thin capitalization, that is a 94B. But last 4 to 5 attempts, they are increased the depth of the question. Okay. Previously, simply 30% of EBA TDA, if you calculate it, you will get 7 marks. Now, they are giving the many twists in this question. So, that's why we will discuss separately thin capitalization. Okay. First, we'll start with the associated enterprises. Okay. What is that, ma? Associated enterprises. Ma, associated enterprises section number is 92A. 92 capital A. 92 capital B is international transaction. Okay. 92 capital A. So first I will quickly revise this and then we can solve one question also on the associated enterprises and we can close it. Associated enterprise, listen carefully, means simply we can call these as an what ma? Related parties. But in exam always we have to write it down it as an associated enterprise, but for your understanding, related parties. Okay. Ma, A held 55% of equity in the BIRA. B held how much, ma? 56. So that means the more than 50%, if holding is there, we can call these enterprises as what, ma? Associate. Listen carefully. Here, if you observe, A held 55% directly, right? In where, ma? B. B held 56% directly in where, ma? C. So that's why A and B are directly associated. B and C also what, ma? Directly associated. But please think from this point of view. Yes, ma? A and C also associated enterprises only, but how ma? Indirectly. Why? Okay, I held in BIRA, B held in C. So nothing but A controlling the B, B controlling the C. So that's why indirect control is there between them. So that's why these are indirectly associated enterprises. Listen, next. So another point. A, yes ma, A held how much percentage in BIRA? 60. How much percentage in C? 61. Now what is the relationship between A and B, ma? Directly associated. What is the relationship between A and C? Directly associated. Understood? So if they are directly associated, already we know. But what is the new thing in this second point? Listen. B held in D how much, ma? C held in E how much, ma? So now, what is the relationship between B and D? Directly associated. What is the relationship between C and E, ma? Directly associated. Now, what is the relationship between the A and D, ma? Indirectly associated. What is the relationship between A and E, ra? Indirectly associated. Sir, already we discussed in first point. But what is the new in the second point? Listen. D, C, B, E, D, E, B, C are indirectly associated because they have a common parent, whom? A. C and E associated. C and E are associated enterprises too. B and D, remember, because they have an ultimate parent. Who is that ultimate parent, ma? A. Online, are you understood up to now? Next. So we have to understood the deemed associated enterprises. What is that? Deemed associated enterprise. I will tell you 12 points, sir. Quickly I will recall it, sir. After the session or evening or any time you have to revise it. So quickly I will complete these 12 points. If any one of these 12 points attracted between the enterprises, that enterprises now we can treat it as an what? Deemed associated enterprise. Previously, what is the percentage we referred more than 50%. Now we will check it out some instances or situations or conditions. If these are attracted between the two enterprises are treated as what? Deemed associated enterprise. Now, no need to check 50 or more, sorry, more than 50 you can check at least to how much 26% more than or equal to. Sir, A held 33% in B, B held 30% in C. Now, deemed associated enterprises, deemed associated enterprise, deemed associated enterprises only. Because they are clearly saying that no need to held more than 50. If you held more than or equal to 26% of voting power also, okay. Listen, voting power means in equity shares, not in preference. That too. Sir, entire year we have to maintain that shareholding of more than 26. No, not required. Listen carefully. No need to held the entire year. Listen, if you held only at any time during the previous year, at any time during the previous year, at any time during the what previous year, means even 1 second if you held the shares also, that too more than or equal to 26, for that entire year we can treat it as an deemed associated enterprises. So based on this one attempt, they asked 7-mark question. No need to held for entire year. Just even one day if you held the more than or equal to 26% also, we can call it as what? Deemed associated enterprise. Next point, extension. Mr. A held how much percentage in X Limited? 40. More than or equal to 26. And in Y Limited? More than or equal to 26. Sir, already in above point itself we discussed deemed associated enterprise. But now in second point, these two are what? Deemed associated enterprise. Why? In each of the enterprises, the commonly one person held more than 26% of what? Voting rights. So nothing but voting power by the same person. That same person held the voting power more than or equal to what? 26%. Understood a second point? So nothing but second point is an extension to the what? First point only. Sir, if any one person held more than or equal to 26% in two enterprises, the two enterprises now deemed associated enterprise. Third one, important in many questions you will get this adjustment. X Limited given the loan to Y Limited, that is how much loan? 60 crore. Now Y Limited total assets value, please check 100 crores, right? Total assets value. Whose assets? Y Limited assets value. Now if X Limited asking the repayment, how much assets value they have to sell? Immediately if they are asking repayment, definitely they have to sell more than how much? 51% of their book value of asset they have to sell. So simply our loan is covering 51% of what? Book value of the other person assets. Simply if I given the loan, okay, my loan amount covering more than 51%. More than or equal to up to now all the percentages refer, yes, that is what? More than or equal to. Okay, Next, sir, here definitely it exceeded, not exceeded, exceeded. Simply these two parties are DAEs. DAEs means what ma? Deemed associated enterprise. Reason. Simply whenever if you are agreeing with my conditions and points, I will ask repayment. Simply I am creating an influence over other party, right? So that's why associated enterprises. Next one ma, guarantee point of view. A limited given the, yes ma, guarantee to the P incorporation. P incorporation taken the loan from the bank. How much ma? 100 lakh. If P incorporation failed to repay the loan amount, what ma? Loan amount. Who given the guarantee ma? A limited. How much extent? 20%. Sir, if the guarantee covered more than or equal to 10% of the debt, here how much ma? 20. That exceeds the 10. So that's why who given the guarantee, who taken the guarantee, both the parties are deemed associated enterprises. Can you tell me one by one points ma? First point, more than or equal to 26%. Same point but held by the same person. Next, total value of the assets with the loan covering more than or equal to 51% of total assets. My guarantee covering the 10%, more than or equal to 10% of the debt. Remember, in exam they will test, they will give 10%, but in exam you have to remember more than or equal to. Okay, more than or equal to. Next point, yes ma, Mr. A having the profit sharing ratio of 15% in the one partnership firm AOP or BOI. Now, if any person having the more than or equal to 10% of interest in other party, all these are what ma? Deemed associated enterprises. Example, in one partnership firm, I invested, I got 20% of profit sharing ratio. That is more than how much ma? 10. So now partner and partnership firm are what ma? Deemed associated enterprise. Same thing you can apply in the AOP also, BOI also. But in partnership firm, partners will be there. In AOP, BOI, we have an what ma? Members. Next. Ma, understood up to 5th point. 6th point. Y limited appointed the directors in the ESMA X limited. How many directors ma? 8. But total directors are 15 ra. So now majority of directors are appointed by the which company ma? Y limited in X limited. Sir, if any company appointed majority of directors in another company, the two companies now treated as what ma? DA. Not only directors appointment, one executive director if you appointed also, both the parties are what ma? DA. Sir, coming to directors, please check majority. Coming to executive director, if one executive director appointed also, we can treat both the parties are what ma? DAs. So remember here percentage is equal to or more than? More than, majority. Remember up to 5th point always more than or equal to, here more than. Next common point, A limited appointed 10 directors in the XYZ limited, but how many directors are there in XYZ? 15. Majority appointed or not ma? Yes. Now A limited and XYZ limited are what ma? DAs. Deemed associated enterprises. Now A limited appointed the how many executive directors ma? 1 executive directors. Now based on this A and KLM also what ma? DAs. Simply one person only done these two things, right? So that's why these two parties are what ma? DAs. In two enterprises, one person only appointed directors majority, so that's why these two are what ma? DAE. Remember, directors appointment related percentage is more than, not equal. Clear? Next, 8th point. My X Limited is doing the manufacturing process or production. For doing this manufacturing and production, Y Limited is supplying the intangibles that may be copyrights, patents, know-how, formulas, etc. But how much extent X Limited depending upon Y Limited intangibles? 100%. If they are not supplying intangibles, our business will be closed. Now they are creating influence or not? Yes. So if any person depending upon the 100% of intangible of others, so now both the parties are what? DA. So what is that intangible dependency percentage? 100% of dependency. Next, raw material point, listen carefully, it is a twisted one. Raw materials, listen carefully. Yes, you have to listen carefully. This is an important one. Listen, ma X Limited wants to do the business. So in that business, they want to manufacture some products. In order to manufacture that product, we have to take the raw materials from others. So who is a supplier of raw material? Y Limited. Whatever the raw material we require, 95% we are taken from one person only. Who is that? Y Limited. Sir, if you depending upon the one supplier for raw material more than or equal to how much? 90%. Sir, simply, if raw material is required, only that fellow is there in market. You are solely depending upon him more than or equal to what? 90. Can you tell me it is more than or equal to 90? Yes. So that's why DA. But remember, sir, raw material acquisition is not a big thing here. Even 100% of raw material also I can purchase from one party only. Nothing wrong. But if you done this thing under influenced prices and condition, then only we can treat it as what? DA. Amma, understood? Sir, just more than or 90% of raw material, if I am purchasing from others, that cannot be treated as DAE. But if that attached with the what? 1 point, what is that? Under influenced conditions and prices, then we can treat it as what? DAE. Understood? So, 9th also, 10th one. Sale under influenced prices and conditions. Sale under influenced prices and condition. A Limited selling products to B Limited. B Limited doing some value addition to that products, and that is resold to whom? C Limited. Sir, now the terms required to be decided by the seller and buyer, right? At what price? What is a credit period? What is the delivery terms? These are all the things who will decide, This fellow is seller, this fellow is buyer. Both the fellows can decide. But here, these terms are decided by whom? A Limited. So that means, now we are doing one sale under what? Influenced points are right. If you decided, that is fine. But you are influenced by the other person. So that's why here, who created influence and who is under influenced, both are what? DA. Sale under influenced prices and conditions. Understood? So now we are doing sale, but on our own willing or influenced by others? Influenced by others. So that's why these two parties are what? DAs. Last 2 points in the DAs, listen. If any one of these 12 points attracted at any point of the previous year, that both the parties are what? DAs. Please listen. One enterprise is controlled by an individual. Another enterprise is controlled by individual only, or relative, or jointly. Listen, Mr. A controlled the X Limited. These two are AEs only, because controlling more than 50%. Okay. B is controlling what? Y Limited. Controlling means nothing but what? B and Y Limited are AEs. But these two fellows are relatives. Mr. A, Mr. B are relatives. One enterprise is controlled by individual, another enterprise is controlled by individual or relative or jointly. Now these enterprises also what ma? DI. Same point in terms of HUF we'll discuss. One enterprise is controlled by whom ma? HUF. One enterprise is controlled by HUF. Another enterprise is controlled by the member of the HUF, relative of the member of the HUF. Example, yes ma, HUF means myself, father, mother and brother, HUF. Now, our family controlling one company. Yes, I am controlling this company or my relatives are controlling this company. So now, these two companies are what ma? DAs. Because the relatives are controlling two companies, automatically that company is also what ma? Related parties. Understood? Just 1 minute, please recap 12 points. Don't by heart it. But you have to remember percentages where we have more than, or equal to, and what is a percentage. Now I will ask 5 questions from this. Listen carefully. What is an intangibles percentage dependency ma? 100%. Raw materials more than or equal to 90%. Okay. Next, director's appointment more than 50. More than 50%. Loan as well as assets percentage more than or equal to 51%. More than or equal to 51%. So these are the points are enough. Now if you have this workbook, please open question number 3. Not 3 2, that 2, question number B. I don't want to tell you everything, but I will tell you question number 2 part B first. Please listen ma. Please read that first one. DEF LLP United Kingdom holds 28% voting power in PQR Limited. Yes ma, from which date? 1/4/2026. Okay sir, nothing but if you observe, it is a foreign company, it is an Indian company, so holding percentage is more than or equal to 26%. But from which year? 26. Oh, that year deemed associated enterprise relationship will be there. But they are asking during our present previous year, what is the transactions ma? 5 crore. What is the relationship between during this year ma? There is no DA. Previous year 25-26, there is no DAE relationship. Why? The percentage of that holding also from the next financial year. For the next financial year, DAE relationship will be established. It is a trap. Automatically by using this percentage, we can write the answer as an what? DAEs. Clear? So now I will tell you one more also. Not due to time restriction, I will tell you the trap points as well as difficult things only, not easy things. First question anyhow, easily you can write it out. Direct question. Okay, but what is the question they asked? First, listen first. They will ask reason also why we can say relationship is an DA. That also you have to understand. Okay, so in this question, what they asked ma? Whether DAE relationship is there or not, they asked. Now, I will tell you only this question. The remaining you can. Okay. A Limited, foreign company, held how much percentage in B? First day of the previous year only, right? More than or equal to what ma? 30%. More than or equal to 26%. Satisfied? Yes. Ma, first they have been holding 30%. Then after B Limited going for the public issue in which month ma? August month. If you know, public issue always will increase our share capital, others will invest, automatically existing shareholder investments will reduce or increase? Reduce. Previously 30%, after public issue, their share is reduced to what ma? 22. That means during this year, if you observe, before August 30%, after August what ma? 22%. Now the DAE relationship will establish or not? Yes, Vaira. At any point of time, at any time during the previous year. Here, can you tell me, at any time during the previous year means what? Even till August also okay. Sir, every question based on the same line. Already explained. At any time during the previous year, if you satisfy that condition, for that entire year we can say what? That is enterprises as an deemed associated enterprises. Clear? Now, so after deemed associated enterprises and associated enterprise, now I will open the sections list in this chapter. Yes, listen, what is the section 92A ma? Already you know, associated enterprises. 92B international transaction. I think you know specified domestic transaction also. So that section number is 92BA. But I will tell you the meaning of specified domestic transaction at the end of the session. Just a 1 minute discussion only. Listen carefully. What is a 92B? International transaction. 92BA specified domestic transaction. For these two transactions, we have to apply the transfer pricing provisions, right? For these two transactions, we have to apply the that is only 92. Application of arm's length price in case of international transaction or specified domestic transaction. Simple ma. So application of what ma? ALP. Sir, in our example, what is that computer's actual transaction price? 18,000. What is that? 18,000. We applied ALP of how much ma? 12,000. That application itself, section 92. That application itself what ma? Section 92. Again I am repeating the section numbers. Sir, we are not by hearting. Okay, we are remembering one process. In that process, what are the section numbers are there? We have to remember. What is that international transaction? 92B. What is that specified domestic transaction? 92BA. In these two cases, we have to apply the ALP, that is only 92. Okay. In international transaction, we have to use the definition of what ma? AE also. AE definition ma? 92A. Okay. Sir, how to calculate the ALP? That is only 92C. What is that ma? 92C is nothing but determination of ALP. Determination of what ma? ALP. So just now I will start the I will introduce the methods for computing ALP ma. But after, I think before 1 hour of the sessions, so before closing 1 hour, we'll discuss the methods for computing ALP. Okay. How many methods are there? First, these methods are classifying into 2. What are the 2 types ma? Transaction based methods. Second one ma? Profit based methods, right? Transaction based methods and profit based methods. I am not at all playing any jokes, remember. Okay, in regular classes, if I written these things, now students always will think, sir, why you are written these things? This is only MCQ. They will give you 4 methods as an options. Which one is a transaction based one? They will ask. Which one is a profit based method? They will ask. Important, very, very important MCQ. Transaction, that means between the two companies, the transactions are there. By using the transaction, if I am computing ALP, that is a transaction based methods. What are the methods we have ma? Cup method. Full name ra? Comparable uncontrollable price method. Comparable uncontrollable price method. Second one, resale price method. Third one, cost plus method. We have to remember as a set. Cup method, resale price method, cost plus method. Profit split method and TNMM, transaction net margin method. It is a not at all important. Last one, any other method given by the board. Any other method given by the what? Board. Can you tell me any other method given by the board? Yes, ma. These three as an one set. Now tell me, three methods are classified as a transaction based. Cup, resale price, cost plus. Two methods, technically two only, the remaining is other methods. Technically two methods are saying as an what, ma? Profit based. What are the two? Profit split method, transaction net margin method. Clear? Okay. I don't want to tell you what do you mean by this method, how to compute. Sir, one more 7 mark question, always methods for computing ALP. One is thin capitalization, another one methods. But in last MQP, anyone verified? Right? They given entire chapter as a theory. Entire chapter they asked as a theory. Advanced pricing agreement, secondary adjustment and primary adjustment. So everything is important. If they ask a theory also, you have to write it down. We can't do anything. Don't expect always the practical questions. Okay. Now, before break, I want to communicate the one point. All of you please listen carefully. All of you please listen carefully. If you know this point easily, you can understood the remaining part also. I entered into transaction with my associated enterprise. Okay. Now same example we can take. How much I paid actually 18,000. But what is it? ALP 12,000. Now we computed ALP, right? How much ALP? 12,000. Now my doubt is, who will compute this ALP, sir? Either SSC or departmental related AO? SSC or AO? Both. Remember, many are thinking, I will file return with the actual transaction price. AO will compute ALP. That point is totally incorrect. If you understood the chapter in that way, every point you will get confusion. Remember, at the time of filing of your return of income, you should compute ALP. Based on that ALP, okay, how much income increased per computer? 6,000. You should increase your income in your return of income 6,000 per computer. That is your responsibility. Now you filed a return with the ALP of how much, 12,000. Whether the 12,000 is correct or incorrect, while doing the assessment, AO will recompute the ALP. Understood all of you? Yes. Listen, yes, if an SSC entered into any one of these transaction, he has to cancel the effect of what, ATP, and he has to find out the ALP by using the methods. How many methods? 5 methods. By using that, okay, all 5 methods are applicable. No. Any one method is applicable for him. That method he has to select and he has to compute the ALP. And he required to file the return of income. I think you know, if any international transactions are there, what is the return of income due date? 30th November. What is that? 30th November. Now, After receiving this return of income by the assessing officer wants to conduct the what ma assessment. In this assessment, if he wants to identify the ALP, that means recomputation of ALP, can he do directly? No, because he is not an expert in the field of computing ALPs. So that's why he has to refer this case to whom? TPO. Who is an TPO? Transfer pricing officer. Who is an TPO? Transfer pricing officer. We have to compute the ALP by using the order given by the whom? TPO. Okay. Now, sir, we want to give the reference to TPO whose approval is required? CIT, PCIT. Ma, okay, if you know this point, otherwise please refer Income Tax Authorities 116 section number. In that, hierarchies will be there. AO higher authority is whom? CIT. AO higher authority is CIT. Above to CIT ma? PCIT. That means AO wants to give the reference to this fellow. So that's why AO higher authority's approval he has to take. AO higher authority is whom? CIT, PCIT. So that's why his approval is required to take. Very important MCQ. Now, TPO will give the what? ALP order. So this ALP order required to be created binding over on whom? AO. Because AO asked ALP. TPO computed it and TPO given the order. So this order mandatorily binded over on whom? AO. Every point is MCQ important only in this point. Sir, whose approval is required for giving the reference? After giving the order, that order is binded over on whom also we have to remember. TPO order, simply that is an ALP order given to AO, that is binded over on whom? AO. Now, by using this ALP order, we'll pass the what? Assessment order to the SSC. Okay, now I will say simple example. Ma, you declare the total income. Yes, ma, 10 lakh. After ALP perfectly you declared your total income 10 lakh. Okay, that entity is engaged in the SEZ businesses. So that's why their total income almost what ma 100% they can claim it as a deduction 10 AA. But remember, they declared clearly after considering the ALP, SSC declared how much total income in the return ma 10 lakh. They declared 10 lakh, but effectively tax is paid or not paid? Not paid. Why? That entity is located in where ma? SEZ. Now, ALP determined by the AO. Based on that, assessing officer computed the total income. Now the total income is 14 lakh. Total income is how much ma? 14 lakh. How much increased? 4 lakh increased, right? Okay. But now SSC is saying that, sir, our entity is located in SEZ, sir. I want to claim 100% of deduction. No. If you want to claim deduction, please declare it properly. Here, AO computed how much enhanced income? 4 lakh. On that enhanced income, based on AO order, on that 10 AA deduction, chapter 6A deductions are available or not available? Not available. If you want to claim these things, please declare it properly from your side only. Once if AO calculated on that enhanced income, you will not get these two benefits. What are the two benefits ma? Section 10 AA deduction as well as chapter 6A. Very, very important point. Understood all of you? No, everything is easier from Nora. If you understood this point. So first, who required to compute the ALP? SSC. That should be recomputed by AO with the help of TPO. Clear? So now my doubt is, okay sir, we computed the ALP. We computed the what ma? ALP. So I will take one example here. Listen carefully, ra. I will give you the break around 10:45 to 11, ra. Okay. Listen. Up to now, please listen carefully. We can complete that half of the chapter also if you listen it, ra. Okay. Ma A limited is there. B limited also there. These two are what ma? Associated enterprise. It is a non-resident. Okay. Both the companies are entered into a transaction ma. This transaction is called as what ma? International transaction. So now here we have an ATP, but that transaction related we have to compute what ALP. What is a transaction ma? Purchase. Our Indian entity done the purchases from the related parties. It is called as an international transaction ma. Sir, one unrelated party is there. UR means what ra? Unrelated party. 1 ra. Unrelated party 2 is there. Unrelated party 3 is there. Like and so on are there ra. Okay. But we purchased goods from them also ra. We purchased goods from the unrelated parties also. Now tell me, these are all also non-residents ra. These are all also what ma? Non-resident. Now tell me, these transactions are uncontrolled or controlled ra? Uncontrolled. These transactions are what ma? Uncontrolled. But listen, these are uncontrolled and this is an what ma? Controlled one. This transaction is what ma? Controlled. So now, comparable, uncontrollable or uncomparable? Comparable. Because this transaction we can compare with this international transaction. This transaction also we can compare with the what ma? International transaction. Now we have an comparable, uncontrollable prices are available, right? So now this is an, here we can find the ALP1. Here we can find the ALP2. Here we can find the ALP3. Sir, how many ALPs we got ra? Ansan ra re. Huh? Many ALPs we can get. Sir, many students are thinking that, sir, as per one method we can get one ALP. No. If you followed one method, if data is voluminous, we can get many more ALPs also. Sir, depends upon situation. In this situation, which method is most appropriate? Cup method. Because comparable, uncontrollable price is available. So that's why I have to follow which method ma? Cup method. But by using the cup method, how many ALPs I got here? 5. Okay, example 4 only. Ignore about Ansandra. How many ma? 4. Listen, here I have 4 ALPs. How to apply the 4 ALPs into international transaction? We have to select best one from the 4, right? Which one we can select best? Average. Mind panjatnara. Okay. If data set containing the number of ALPs, listen ma, less than 6. In our example, how many ma? 4. How many ma? 4. Less than 6 only. Then please calculate the average. Example 145, 152, 157, 160. Please do average. How much ma? 153.5. Sir, if data set containing the ALP 6 or more, 6 or more, then what we have to do? What we have to do, ra? What is that ma? Range concept. Listen, till now this is not tested, means it isn't very important. For next attempts, this can be asked in your exam. Shall we discuss range concept ma? When we can use average? If the data set containing ALPs is less than 6. And some students are messaging me, sir, please tell me one question of cup and cost plus combined. Practically also this question will not arise. First of all, based on our situation, we have to select most appropriate method. We have 5 methods. Cup method, resale price, cost plus profit split, TNMM. Okay, depends upon our situation, which method is most appropriate, we have to select. By using that method only we can compute the ALP. Okay, if data availability is more and more, then we get more than one ALP. Sir, here one comparable uncontrollable price only available, sir. One only available. How many ALPs you will get? One. Understood? So, these are all ALPs by using the same method or different method? Same method. Okay, same method. Now, range concept, how we can discuss? Range concept related, not given in the provisions. It is given in rule 10 CA. What is that? Rule 10 CA. Okay, I am given the facts. Quickly I will go because you know everything in the foundation itself, statistics and all other things. So this is a very easy thing. Believe me, just we can go it. Actual transaction price I given in the question 150. Actual transaction price is what? 150. So ALPs we found. How many ALPs we got? 7. So now out of the 7, which one is best one? We have to pick. If you are doing average, that is not a correct. Why? Average when it will apply average concept, less than 6. Now, first step, please arrange the data in ascending order. What is that ascending order? Low to high. Please rearrange. Here, that is different order is there. Please arrange in that what? Low to high. Second, please calculate the 35th percentage, 65th percentage. Simply, how many number of data set we have? 7. 7 into 35th percentage, 7 into 65 percentage. Please calculate. Percentage calculation. Percentage means percentage on the number of data sets. 2.45, 4. Now, can I locate the 2.45 or 4.55 here? No. If it is whole number, I can round it. But it is not in whole number. So that's why please go with the next whole number. What is that? 3 and 5. So simply the range will start from the 3 and end with the 5. So that means 152 to 158 only our ALP is there. Starting range, ending range. That is only range concept. Understood? Suppose our, okay, that means between these two, anything we can accept it as an what? ALP. Actual transaction price, please check. But it is false within this range? No. So that's why that is not an ALP. We can't call this as an ALP. It is what? ATP only. If it is false within the range, that is only we can accept it as an what? ALP. But it is not false within the range. Then what we can do? Okay. Then we can find out the, yes, that is only if actual transaction price falls within the range, actual transaction price only ALP. Next, in step 3, step 2 is over. Step 3, we can calculate the median. Median means what? 50% we have to count. Can you calculate 50%? 3.5. Can I locate the 3.5 in the data set? No. 3.5. Next whole number 4. That is only what? 154. Understood? What is the percentage are important? 35th percentile, 65th percentile. And next median means what? 50th percentile. Example 2. Already I given the data in ascending order. What is that ascending order? Low to high. Please check the data. All the things are arranged in ascending order or not? Now, please calculate the 35th percentage or 65th percentage. Sir, here we got what, ra? Whole number. Sir, if decimal is there, we have to go with the what, ma? Next whole number. But here we got whole number. But ra, there is a magic. 7, right, ra? And next one, ma? 13. For getting the more accuracy, please identify the next also. Do the average. Sir, if that is in decimal, we are going with the next. That is accurate. Here, if you got directly whole number, for getting more accuracy, go with the next number also. Do the average. Can you tell me, 7 you got, next number 8. For these two, average is what, ma? 119.5. 119.5. Starting range, 119.5. Ma, 13 we got here. 13 next number, 14. And please do average of this 132 plus 135 divided by 2. What is the ending range? Now, ma, understood? If that is an decimal, next number. If that is an whole number, that number and next number, average. So suppose if our actual transaction price falls within the range, that actual transaction price only ALP. If it is not false within that, then we have to calculate median. Please calculate median, 10. Ma, median how much, ma? 10. 20 into 50% is 10. So it is in what, whole number. So 10 means go with the what, ma? Next one. 10 and 11 average 125 127 divided by 2. What is that, ma? 126. Now very important MCQ. Listen carefully. The range concept is not applicable for the PSM method. PSM profit split method. Ma, if you haven't, okay, if you followed the profit split method, you got 20 ALPs. You got how many, ma? 20. What is the finalized ALP? Average. PSM method always following the what, ma? Average. There is no concept of range concept in case of PSM method. For remaining methods, always we can apply the what, ma? Range concept as well as average. So less than 6, average. More than or equal to 6, range concept. But PSM concept always will follow average. Understood? So now, ma, by using these methods, we computed ALP. One ALP got, we are in lucky persons, we can use that in an international transaction or specified. If you got multiple, average or range concept, PSM method always follow the average concept. Clear up to now? Okay, you computed ALP, but AO wants to recompute that ALP by using the HUMA TPO. But now my doubt is, last point, before break. Okay, now my doubt is, when ALP will compute by the AO. Not in all cases, but in some cases, definitely who will recompute the ALP, ma? AO. Speed and best na online. Okay. So first point I will tell you, ma, in the following cases, who will recompute the ALP, AO. SSC always will compute. After computation done by the SSC, in the assessment, who will recompute? But not in all cases, but in the 4 cases only. First case, ma, comparable uncontrollable transactions are available. What, comparable uncontrollable transactions are available. Then you have to follow which method, cup method. But you follow the profit split. That means most appropriate method failed to take by the HUMA AO. Sorry, SSE. SSE not computed as per most appropriate method. Then who will recompute directly? AO. Second, data used in the ALP computation, it is incorrect or unreliable or not reliable. Are simple. Here please listen. This data is fake and fraudulent data. Then you computed ALP by using this only. Now assessing officer will recompute it. Next one ma. Listen. International transaction or specified domestic transaction if entered by the SSE, that SSE required to maintain the some records under section what ma? 92D. What is that ma? 92D. That records if you are not maintained, then who will recompute the ALP ma? AO. Sir, if you are not maintained, okay. Second one, you maintained, but the department asked the documents if you are not furnished. Furnished or not furnished? Not furnished. Sir, 92D records not maintained. 92D records are failed to furnish. In those cases, assessing officer will recompute the ALP. Will recompute the ALP. Understood? So now, anyone, sir, but in exam, these are very important. Many students are thinking, in every case, AO is recomputing. No. If you computed already perfectly, then why he go for the recomputation? Any one of the 4 points are attracted. Most appropriate method you are not taken. Data is incorrect. 92D records are not maintained. 92D records are not furnished. In these cases, what we can do? Recomputation of ALP by, okay, already you computed, but before recomputation, we have to provide an opportunity being of hot to the SSE. Because his ALP only I am computing again, right? So that's why before computation, given chance to communication next. Now, already AO recomputed ma. Previously, you computed total income how much ma? 10 lakh. So now what is the total income? 14 lakh based on recomputation. Now what is the position ma? What is the position? Wait. So these two deduction we can allow or not allowed against enhanced income? Not allowed. Other enterprise income we will not recompute. Our income only we will compute. Other enterprises income we will not recompute. Our Indian enterprise things only we will touch. So one more point before the break. Listen carefully. Yes, very important for MCQ. Case number 1 I will take. Ma listen. Ma ATP. What is that ma? ATP. Actual transaction price is how much? 150. We computed ALP. It is a sole ALP. It is a sole ALP or what ma? Average one or range. Sir, this is our entered transaction price. We computed ALP, whether it is a single ALP, yes, I got 5 ALPs, this is an average one. I got in 20, yes, this is what ma? Range concept find out ALP. Ma, how much a difference between these two? 3.5. Array, government asking to enter into the transaction with the arm's length price or market value. 1 or 2 rupees deviation they should allow. How can I purchase one product exactly with the arm's length price? 1 or 2 rupees or some tolerable deviation they have to allow. Example, okay, there is a scarcity in the market or badly you need that product. If you pay 1 or 2 rupees extra, that is not at all wrong. Okay, from your related party also. So that's why here how much extra we paid? 3 rupees, 3.5. So that's why even 1 rupee, 2 rupee differences, if you are computing ALP and if you are applying arm's length price in that international transaction, that is not correct. So that's why department is clearly saying the tolerable deviation. What is a tolerable deviation, ma? 3% or 1% of actual transaction price. 3% or 1% of what, ma? Actual transaction price is allowed as what, ma? Deviation. Okay, is allowed as what, ma? Deviation. Remember, if the transactions or business is on wholesale, 1%, please check. Remaining cases, ma? 3%. Now check, ra. This point is very important here. Actual transaction price. What is that, ma? Actual transaction price. Assumption it is other than wholesale, ra. What is the percentage, ma? 3% of what, ma? Actual transaction price. 3% of what, ma? Actual transaction price. Okay, how much, ma? 4.5. That means department can bear difference up to how much, ma? 4.5. Our difference is how much actually? 3.5. Our difference is up to tolerable deviation? Yes. So that means here our actual transaction price only what, ma? ALP. Our actual transaction price only ALP. Again I am saying, listen carefully. So small deviations related, no need to compute ALP, and ALP related application is also not required. Sir, what is a tolerable deviation? 3% or 1% of what, ma? Actual transaction price. Okay, what is that? 3% of ATP, 4.5. Difference up to 4.5, okay. But here up to or more, up to. So that's why ATP only can be treated as what, ma? ALP. We don't want to consider this ALP. Case 2 you can absorb. 3% of ATP is how much, ma? 4.2. That means department wants to bear how much difference, na? 4.2 only. But what is that actual difference? It is beyond or up to? Beyond. So that's why we have to take the ALP as an ALP only. We don't want to accept this as an what, ma? ALP, because deviation is more than tolerable deviation. So that's why this is only we have to take as an what, ma? ALP. Students are asking the common doubt, sir, this ALP point or tolerable deviation related points are applicable for the range concept also? Yes. If you computed single ALP, you haven't single ALP, please check this. If you computed this ALP by using average, please compare. If you computed this ALP by using range concept, yes, this is also. Understood? So 3%, 1% you can remember, but on which price? Actual transaction price. So please remember that, and we can take break up to 11:05. After that we can meet. Let's start. So now we can start with the new section. Important for MCQ point of view, 92C is over. What is the 92C? So just we didn't discuss the questions. That is the 92C is nothing but determination of arm's length price. Determination of arm's length price is, that is 92C. Now we have to discuss 92CA reference to TPO. Sir, you know already who can give the reference to TPO for computing arm's length price? AO. In all cases or only in 4 cases? In 4 cases, yes, he can compute the ALP with the help of TPO. So now that we can discuss in 92CA. Shall we run? Important, listen. So reference to TPO, what is the full form? Transfer Pricing Officer. AO, in his opinion, I think you know, in his opinion means how many points? 4 points. In his opinion, if any one of the 4 points attracted, it is necessary to compute the ALP. So then he can give this case to whom? TPO. Already I told, yes, before giving the reference to TPO, we have to take a permission from whom? CIT or PCIT. Now, here the main thinking, yes sir, SSC, yes, under TPO. Remember now TPO required to compute the ALP, right? How he can compute the ALP? Samir, Doris. How he can compute the ALP? Simply, he want to get some information from the SSC only. He can't do computations on his own or based on his own decisions. He cannot do computations. He will ask the information from the SSC by way of sending the notice. In response to this notice, who will give the information? SSC to TPO. Listen, here who given the reference? AO given the reference to the TPO. Sir, which enterprise related ALP they want to compute? USA Associated Enterprise is there. That means our Indian entity have an USA Associated Enterprise. We entered into some transactions with the USA Associated Enterprise. Regarding that, now we want to compute the what? ALP. Regarding that, now we want to compute the ALP. So now he will submit the information also related to the transactions entered with the what? USA Associated Enterprise. Now this is only one attempt MCQ. Listen carefully. Yes sir. What is that point? AO given the reference to TPO, but can you tell me reference is given only with respect to USA Associated Enterprise transactions only, right? But during this ALP computation, TPO identified another associated enterprise transaction. What is that? Australia Associated Enterprise. Now my doubt, he has to compute only ALP for the whatever the reference given by the AO, or he can extend his power to other transactions also. Remember, during the proceedings, other transactions, if any discovered, what is the other transaction now discovered? Transactions with the Australia Associated Enterprise. That also TPO can consider. For that also TPO can calculate the ALP regardless of its value. The transactions are crores, lakhs, thousands. These are all unimportant. Regardless of value, regardless of the transactions, we have to compute the ALP. Now TPO powers are extended power or restricted powers? Extended. So his reference only to that USA Associated Enterprise related ALP. During that, he found a few more transactions with other associated enterprises. Now, he computed the ALP for every transaction he identified during the proceedings. Understood? Very important MCQ. They can give this same MCQ again. Next, sir, if any order passed by TPO, this order is called as what ma? ALP order. Who can bind it over on this ALP order ma? AO. Already in diagram itself we already discussed TPO, if given the order, that should be binded over on the AO. Ma, MCQ, just remember, every assessment should complete within the time limits. Every assessment, scrutiny also, best judgment also, income escapement also, block assessment also, every assessment we have to complete within the time limit. So now remember, who required to pass the assessment order ma? AO. For passing this assessment order, which order is most important? ALP order given by the TPO. If he given this order, then only we can pass the assessment order. But these assessment orders we have to pass within the time limits, right? So that's why this ALP order should be submitted to AO at least how many days before? 60 days before. Sir, nothing but, okay, example, today is a last date for assessment completion. How many days before you should give the ALP order? 60 days. That means I need to get the TPO order, or that is only ALP order, at least 60 days before the completion of assessment time limits. Next one ma. Just remember, this is also as an MCQ pointer. Above time limit, ma, 60 days time limit is not sufficient. That means nothing but we don't have 60 days time limit. Ma, if not available, that period we can extend it to how many days? 60 days. Ma, remember the numerical limit here, 60 days. If, okay, you know, scrutiny assessment we have to complete 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. How many months ma? 12 months. So at least before this time limit, 60 days before you should submit the report of ALP order. Who needs to submit the report to whom? TPO required to submit to AO. If that 60 days time is not available because of these reasons, what are the reasons ma? Court given the stay or reference given under 1998 DTAA agreements related. Because of this reason, the time limit is less than 60 days. Please extend it to how many days? 60 days. Okay, 30 days time only available. Add another 30 days, totally 60. Not fresh 60 days. Extend it to how many days? 60 days. Okay. I don't know how many of you will know assessment procedures, just I will tell you. Ma, ALP order can amend. ALP order what ma? Can amend. Sir, okay, now pass it, but after few days or after few years, we want to change this ALP order. Will it be possible? Yes, possible. Rectification of order. If it is rectified, automatically we have to rectify what ma? Assessment order also, right? Are mistakenly the wrong amounts are included here. Later they rectified this. Now we want to rectify the what ma? Assessment order also, right? That is only. If transfer pricing officer amend any order, TPO amended his order, under which section will apply? 154. What is that 154? Rectification of mistake. In appeals will cover this rectification of mistake. Sir, if the TPO amended the order, automatically AO also required to amend the what ma? Assessment order. Ma, many of us are ignoring this provision, but it is easy and important also. When we can give the reference to transfer pricing officer ma? If AO having doubts over SSE computation of ALP, then he can give the reference to the TPO for computation of what ma ALP. With the prior approval of whom ma? CIT or PCIT. Once ALP order passed by TPO, that should be binded over on whom ma? AO. Now, so this section also over. This section is also what ma? Over. Now, I will start the one more concept in detailed manner. Ma, I think 6 attempts are, that means 3 years back. Transfer pricing provisions means one question 94B thin capitalization. Another question methods for ALP or deemed associated enterprise. That's enough. I'm that type. Now, they are given one question from the every attempt. You can verify the question papers also, recent 4 or 5 attempts paper. One concept question they will ask from the advance pricing agreement. Second one they will ask from the what secondary adjustment and primary adjustment. I want to cover these two concepts in detail. Already I given an information about it. If anything is pending, okay. If anything is pending, I will upload it by end of the evening. I haven't classes till 8:30. Okay. After that I will upload it. I need to check that video, and if any extra discussions are there, I will edit it and I will upload it to the YouTube. Okay. But okay, if any small concept is pending, I will extend the session till 1:30 or 1:45 also. We can try. Problem. Now, what is our concentration now, ma? Advance pricing agreement. Sir, in between that, one section is there. CB. CA we discussed. What is that? 92 CA? Reference to TPO. CB is safe harbor rules. I will tell you the safe harbor rules also, but now importance wise we will make a move on towards the CC. What is the CC ma? Advance pricing agreement. Sir, because of this agreement entrance, what is that effect? We'll discuss in next section. What is that? 92 CD. 92 CC APA. APA related effects will discuss in which section ma? 92 CD. What is the 92 CB? Safe harbor rules. 92 CB is what? Safe harbor rules. Okay. Now we'll discuss these two. Listen carefully. Every time SSE is computing the ALP properly by using most appropriate method, by using perfect data, and he maintained the records also under 92D. Whenever assessing officer asked the data under 92D, he furnished also. But at the time of assessment, assessing officer always saying that, sir, that is not a most appropriate method and you computed ALP in a wrong manner, and he is increasing the ALP as well as he is increasing the total income. Who is increasing ma? AO. Okay, if he increase it also, we will accept it. But on that enhanced income, they are not giving the two benefits. What are that ma? Section 10AA, chapter 6A. Always, every year, this is only nonsense in the practical cases. ALP computation is not an easy thing, first of all. Whatever we computed, they are rejecting every year. They are increasing our income every year in the assessment. They are not giving the claims also on the enhanced income. Definitely it is frustrating for the large amount of taxpayers, not for small. How to pay the small amount of tax? If they increase it also, I don't have any power to question. But if you are paying that huge amount of taxes like multinational companies, and globally if you are doing the business, easily you have to find out an alternative way for this. So that's why now in this provision under section 92 CC, they given a power to enter into agreement in advance with the directly CBDT. As an SSE, I can enter into agreement with the CBDT. Remember that first and foremost authority in direct tax laws is CBDT. Now you are entered into agreement with the CBDT only directly. What is that? Sir, tell me one advance price. That is only ALP. I will file written with the ALP only. then we will remove all the nonsenses like what are recomputation, enhancing the incomes, all the things we will remove it. So it isn't definitely the remedy for some cases. So now who can enter into agreement with the whom? SSE can enter into agreement with the CBDT. Remember, this agreement must be approved by the central government. Indirectly you are entered into agreement with the whom? Central government. Now tell me, this is a large amount of taxpayers or small amount of taxpayers? Large amount of paying taxpayers only. Understood? So every time I am computing, you are rejecting. These are all the things we will remove. If we are entered into agreement, please tell me agreement. In that agreement itself, please tell me what is the method I need to follow. Or tell me ALP directly. Or tell me in which manner I require to compute the ALP also. I will follow that only. Then automatically who will accept it? AO. Understood? So now shall we open the advanced pricing agreement theory? Yes, 92 CC. Please open. Very important in recent examinations. Yes, sir. What is the section? 92 CC. What is a 92 CD? Effects of APA. Okay. CBDT with the prior approval of central government may enter into APA with the what? Any person. Sir, who is in persons in agreement? CBDT and SSE only. But who can approve this agreement? Central government. Sir, nothing but in this agreement they will give the how to determine the ALP. Or they will give you in which manner you can compute the ALP. In some cases they can give the ALP directly also. Now whatever APA we enter, that is valid for how many years? 5 consecutive previous years, that will specified in the agreement. Sir, I think this MCQ they ask nearly 10 to 20 times. How many years? 5 consecutive previous years. APA shall be binding on the whom? Departmental persons. Whom are departmental officers? CID, PCIT, AO and SSE also. That means if any agreement entered by the both the parties, who required to bind it over? Both the parties required to bind it over. Next one. Sir, APA required to APA is valid for how many years? 5 consecutive previous years, right? Okay. Now my doubt is, if any law changed, then it shall not be applicable further. APA shall not be binding if there is a change in law or facts. Sir, example, there is an amendment in the law, so they identified the entire transfer pricing provisions in another way. Now, previously we entered already 3 years over. Now, 4th year onwards, APA is applicable or not applicable? Not applicable, because there is a change in law or facts. Okay, here and how the department will give the advanced pricing agreement, I will tell you clearly. Listen carefully. Sir, I have an associated enterprise in Sweden, sir. Always I am doing the sales to my Sweden associated enterprise. From the last 10 years, I am doing that same identical transactions. I will submit every details to them. For whom? CBDT. So nothing but what? Past transactions you have to submit. Now based on analysis of the past transactions, they will give the what? Future transactions related ALP. So that is on. That's why that is applicable for how many years? Next 5 years. Without submitting anything, they will not give APA. You have to submit which associated enterprises you have and what are the transactions you entered with them in the last years. If you want to continue the same identical transactions in future also, they will give the advanced pricing agreement. Now listen carefully. At the time of submission of the past transaction, I submitted the fraudulent data. I submitted what? Fraudulent data. Okay, they given the APA. But After some days also CBDT can declare this API as an what ma? Void ab initio if such API is obtained by way of what ma? Fraud or misrepresentation. Understood? If you obtained any advance pricing agreement from the CBDT by using the fraudulent activities, at any time they can declare this as an void ab initio. What do you mean by void ab initio? Void from beginning. So now, sir, how we can apply for APA? Sir, you have to application. You have to fill that application in which form number? Please pronounce along with me for 5 times. Form 3CED. What is that? Form 3CED. Okay. Sir, along with the fees. So after seeing the fees, you can decide whether it is for the rich peoples like you or poor peoples like us. Yes, the value of international transaction, how much ma? If it is not exceeding 100 crores, just 10 lakh fees only. Just 10 lakh fees for advance pricing agreement. Next, if your transactions, international transaction value 100 to 200 crores, just how much ma? Next, exceeding 200, more than 200, how much ma? 20 lakh only just. Sir, okay, first I applied, sir, but after that I don't want to enter into APA. Can I withdraw? Yes, your application you can withdraw at any time. Last stage, if CBDT given the finalization, you can't withdraw. That means both the parties are already signed in that agreement. You can't withdraw. Before the finalization, at any stage you can withdraw. What is that form number for withdrawal? Ma? What is the change? Here D, here E. Form 3 C E E. For that what ma? Withdraw. Now my doubt is, sir, I want to withdraw the already filed application, sir. Can I get this amount as a refund? No. That is only next point. The fees already you paid shall not be refunded upon the withdrawal of what application. So now the stages I will tell you. If you want to enter into APA, you have to gone in that how many phases ma? 5. First stage, can you tell me? Pre-filling consultation. Okay, example, I will tell you the best example. Before joining into any courses, they will give the counseling or they will give the details about the water course. Okay, in all institutions they will give, right? Okay, like that. If you want to enter into the water APA also, you can attend for the what ma? Pre-filing consultation. What is the form number for that? 3CEC. Okay, after taking that consultation and after getting all the details, if you want to apply for the APA, next stage is what? Application. What is the form number? Already you know. Repeat. Listen, in MCQs they will ask, if you attending for the free filing consultation, that can I treat it as an already you applied for APA? No. Just you inquired about the APA. When I can treat you as an applied for APA? After filing the application along with the fees of 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh. Clear? Third stage, preliminary processing of application. You make an application. In that application, you will submit the past transactions data. If you submitted the what ma? Past transactions data, they will verify this. And department CBDT can make some amendments also. Sir, you asked whatever, okay, you asked whatever you want in the application. Other party will make the what ma? Some changes in the agreement. Last stage is what? Finalization. Before this stage, at any time you can withdraw the what? Application. Before the finalization stage, at any stage you can withdraw the what ma? Application. Understood all of you? Again I am asking to you, understood? Yes. It is an exclusive our syllabus concept ma? types of APA. So these types of APAs we can enter. So first one only we know, yes, but they can ask anything in that exam. Listen, unilateral APA. What is that? Unilateral APA. What is that unilateral? Taxpayer and the tax administration of the country. Now, what is the tax administration of our country? CBDT. Both they can enter into agreement. That is called as what, ma? Unilateral. That is called as what, ma? Unilateral. Next one. 1 minute. Next second one, ma. Bilateral. What do you mean by the bilateral? Taxpayer can enter into agreement with the, yes, ma, our country tax department CBDT, and he can enter into agreement with the what, ma? Foreign tax administration also. Example, SSC, CBDT and USA tax department. 3 parties are in this agreement. Next one, ma. Multilateral. Taxpayer and Indian tax administration, foreign tax departments, how many? More than one. Now SSC, CBDT, US department and UK department. This is what, ma? Multilateral. Now can you tell me, for entering into the unilateral application we have to file under which form number, ma? 3CED. Here also what is that form number? Form 3CED. But we have to submit to whom? Deputy Director General of Income Tax. DCIT. Director General of Income Tax. Now here, ma, competent authority in India. Sir, remember, application filing form number is same. Whether it is an unilateral, multilateral, bilateral. But to whom we have to submit, that is in change here. So here we have to submit to DCIT, the Director General of Income Tax. Here competent authority, the mostly CBDT. Next one, sir, I don't know how many times I received these messages from the students, but okay, always I will unable to give the answers for that all the messages also. The reasons will be there. I will always in the classes, enter or final or anything. Okay, in free time, that is free time. That's why I will not check the messages. Okay. Okay. In any student at the time of checking the WhatsApp or Insta or Telegram, if they message, no, then I will give the reply. Okay. After seeing also, sometimes I will not give the reply because how much I can type. Okay. One thing. Course purchase students group is there. If they message, I will give the reply instantly because they are simple, not logic. That is a basic responsibility. Okay, if I am not okay, if I am unable to give the reply, also other students will give the reply. But many students will ask this doubt. So that's why I will go in a slow way for 10 to 15 minutes. Listen carefully. Time of filing the application. Okay, I want to enter into APA. Form number 3CED. Application. At what time I have to file this application? Listen. First one, continuing transaction. Second one, new transaction. I think you know difference between these. Continuing means past already I entered. For future also I will enter into this transaction. These are transactions are what, continue. Previously I didn't enter into this transaction. Newly I want to enter. That are what, new. Yes. New transactions, at any time I can make an application before entering into what, such a transaction. Okay, tomorrow if you want to enter, now you can apply, no problem. Now you can apply, no problem. But very important, continuous transactions. What is that, continuous? In exams also always they will ask this is only. Past transactions already you submitted. For future transaction you want to enter into ALP. Yes, ra. Listen. What is the previous year, ma? 25, 26. What is the relevant assessment year? Okay. Remember, you want to enter into APA for this year, and next how many years, ma? 4. Total how many, ma? 5. Consecutive 5 years, right? For this year, you want to get APA. This year and next 4. Totally 5. If you want to get APA for this year, you have to apply. Ma, application is different. Signing date is different. Understood? That is only the basic doubt. Application point now I am discussing, not signing. When you have to apply, if it is continuing transaction, yes, please check for which year you want to enter into APA, that year first day. What is the first day? Please check the first day of this year. 1/4/2000. That before any time you can apply. Sir, for this year you want to enter, last year you have to apply. For this year, if you want to enter, which year you have to apply? Last year. Signing can be done by authorities in this year only. Example, February 20th I applied. When ma? February 20th I applied. Then they will sign in the month of what, ma? June. Now, from the date of signing, how many years, ma? 5 years. This year and next 4 years. The many students are asking this doubt. Application is different concept, signing is different. Okay, if you applied after preliminary verification, after amendments to that application, they will sign one fine day. Whenever they signed, from that year, next 4 years. Total 5 years. Continuous transactions, when we have to apply, which year you want to enter into APA, that year first day before you have to apply. If it is new, any time before entering into such a transactions. Clear, all of you? Now, so based on this, we can solve one question also. Listen carefully. We entered into APA. Okay, we applied properly, signing also done. For this year, our target, yes, we got APA. We got APA. From this date, next how many years, 5 years. Can you tell me? It is an year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. It will be applicable, right? So nothing but advance pricing agreement. Related, they given the what, ALP also. Directly they given the ALP for the next 5 years also. This should be binding on what, both the department as well as SC, unless there is a change in law or very, very important. Listen carefully, all of you. Read this point loudly. APA can apply in reducing or increasing the income. Sir, now because of this ALP, okay, maybe our total income can increase or decrease. Don't think about it. Apply directly. So nothing but what, here it is an advantage for us only. Some cases it is advantage also. No problem. Whether based on this, in first in starting of this chapter we discussed, if total income reduced because of ALP, we can't apply the transfer pricing provision. But don't apply that here. ALP given in what, APA, always it is applicable. If it is increased your income also, reduced your income also, increased the loss also, reduced the loss also. Clear, all of you? Yes, remember, APA can applied even if it reducing the income or increasing the income. Simple, amma. In our example, what is that price we paid already, 18,000. Okay, ALP given in advance pricing agreement 12,000. Now how much I have to increase, 6,000 1000. Now reverse case we can take ALP given in the advance pricing agreement is 24,000. Now how much I have to reduce? 6,000. Ma remember, because of the ALP given in APA, if you applied in the international transaction, if increase the total income also okay, reduce it also okay. Remember, I am talking about the future advance pricing agreement only, not for rollback. Not for rollback. Clear? Now listen. Now listen, Amma. Sir, I am applying for the what? Only what, ma? Advance pricing agreement. Can I apply form 3CED, right? Can I apply for the APM? Yes. But remember, along with this, you can apply for the what? Rollback also. What is the form number for application of rollback, ma? Add just A to that. Form 3CEDA. Sir, both the things I want, yes, they will give. Rollback means last 4 years. How many years, ma? 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many years, ma? Last 4 years. Simple. These years already we filed returns. Assessments also done. Now we can recompute that year's income by using the same ALP given in the APA. Sir, who requested for rollback, ma? SSC. Who requested for rollback, ma? SSC only asked for rollback. Sir, I don't want only for future, sir. I want past 4 years also. No, sir. In my case, I asked only for future, not for rollback. Will they give? Yes. You want to only APA, they will give. Sir, you want both, they will give. Okay, sir, I don't want APA, sir, I want only rollback, they will give. No. Remember, both they can give, only APA they can give, only rollback, not possible. Sir, remember, here, ma, you can refer the concept book. Fees for this is 5 lakh. How much, ma? 5 lakh. Sir, now I have a doubt. Intentionally, along with the future years, I want rollback for the what? Past 4 years also. That means already these years, returns closed. Assessments closed. Now I want to recompute by using the what? ALP. Okay? Intentionally we asked, right? Remember that point. But fifth point, refer and ask your doubt now. Fifth point, please read. If you applied this ALP to these years, how many years, ma? 4 years. Your total income should be increased or loss should be reduced. Then only rollback will apply. That means for whom it is favorable, ma? Huh? For whom this point is favorable? Department favorable. You know already, but why you applied for the past years also with the help of 5 lakh fees? Ma, understood my doubt first of all. For future years, anyone can get the benefit. Reduction also possible, increasing also possible. But here only one output, increasing, loss, reducing. Sir, they are not forcing you, but you only applied. You only applied. No one is forcing. You can apply only for future also. Now my doubt is, why SSCs will apply for the rollback, sir? Ma? Sorry? No. I will tell you one thing. Two reasons I will tell you. The first one, silly reason, right? If I am applying for the last years also, maybe they will give the terms and conditions in the agreement in a best way. That is not at all perfect answer, I will tell you. Ma, this year's already returns closed, right? Assessments also closed, right? Huh? Closed, right? Maybe we underpaid the taxes on that time. In future, in our hands, which assessments may start? Income escapement assessments also, block assessments also, search and seizures also can start, right? So that's why silently SSVs will apply for the rollback and they will increase their income and they will pay the taxes perfectly. In future, there may be assessments. Now, in order to avoid all those assessments, okay, along with the future, I will ask for past also, if any income is required to increase based on this, I will increase. Understood? Now, in order to apply the rollback, you have to satisfy the conditions. First condition is what? Same international transaction, whatever the future transaction is there, the same international transaction also in that what past. My last condition already you know. What is that? Always income will be increasing, loss should be decreasing. There is no other concept. Next one, if you want to get the rollback, that return of income required to be filed on or before the what due date. Remember all the conditions if satisfied, then only for the particular year we can give the rollback. If all the conditions are what satisfied, then only we can give the rollback for the particular year. Okay, example okay, this year return we filed after due date. For this year we can't give the rollback. These 3 years only we can give. Any one of the year return not filed on or before the due date, for that year now we will cancel the what rollback. Next, what is the point? 92E audit report you are required to submit. What is the report? 92E audit report you are required to submit. Next one, this is also important. If appeal is pending or disposed before ITIT or higher authority, in this year, assessment done, you are not satisfied with the AO order, you gone for appeals. Appellate authority is nothing but now ITIT. ITIT already disposed the case for this year, or ITIT front of appeals are pending. Now we can't apply rollback for this year, and remaining years only we can apply the rollback. What is that? Appeal is pending before whom? Appeal is pending before the ITIT and higher level, or appeal already disposed also. For that particular year we can't apply the rollback. Sir, if these 5 conditions are cumulatively satisfied, then only we can give the rollback for the particular year. Otherwise we can give it for the what only remaining years. But how many past years 4 only we have to check. So what is the first? Same international transaction, return should be filed on or before the due date. 92E report. Next one, appeal pending before the ITIT or higher authority. Next, because of the ALP given in the APA, total income should be increased, loss should be reduced. Sir, can I apply only for rollback without APA? No. What is a rollback application form? Form 3CEDA. So nothing but here what is the fees? 5 lakh. Next, a normal points. You know already these points, but I will recap it. A Limited entered into APA with the CBDT. So now who hold the APA? A Limited. But A Limited amalgamated with a B Limited. Which company is closed? A Limited is closed. Now can I give the APA to the B Limited? No. So who applied the APA, for them only it will be applicable. It is not applicable for the successor. Next, second one, A Limited. Next one, B Limited. A Limited as well as B Limited. Who applied the APA? CBD. Sorry, who applied with the CBDT? A Limited. Now these two companies are merging with each other in order to start the new company C Limited. Now, can this Yes, we can give it to the C Limited. No, because predecessor applied. For predecessor only we can give the benefits. We can't give it to the whom successor. So now in case of demerger. Now in case of what ma? Demerger concept. In case of which concept ma? Demerger concept. Who applied for APA? Huh? A Limited applied for APA. Now, demerged company is same company A Limited. That is only demerged into two companies. New company is what ma? B Limited. Now, can you tell me APA is applicable for the demerged company? Yes, because A Limited only already applied. So, it is not applicable for the what ma? Resulting company. Now, I will give you one important point. Ma, you know 92C. What is the 92C? Ma? Sorry. Methods for computing ALP. What is the 92C? Ma? Reference to TPO. These two provisions are not applicable if we entered into 92CC. What is that? If I entered into APA, do I need to compute ALP? No. Do I need to give the reference to TPO? No. So that's why 92CC will override the provisions of 92C, 92CA. Simple. In order to remove these headaches only, we entered into the advanced pricing agreement. So now we discussed each and every point in the advanced pricing agreement. Now we'll discuss within next 5 minutes effect of advanced pricing agreement. Then we can go to the questions. What is that, ma? Effect of advanced pricing agreement. Listen carefully. Previous year 25-26, assessment year 26-27, ABC Limited already filed the return of income. They don't want to wait for that APS signing. We applied before this year only. But when they will sign also, I don't know, right? So that's why I don't want to wait for the signing. So that's why before that, I filed the return. Can you tell me what is the due date? Return filing due date? 31st 11 of an assessment year. I filed the return exactly on the due date. After filing the return of income of the particular year, they given the APA. My example, in return of income, I have to declare my income with the ALP. With the what? ALP. So that ALP only issue. So that's why I applied for the what? Advanced pricing agreement. But they are not giving in an advanced pricing agreement in early manner. So there is an uncertainty. If they are not finalizing APA, so next that is lost to whom? SSC. So that's why he filed return first. With that, computed ALP on his own. Next, after few days, they given what? Advanced pricing agreement. Now tell me, this return is wrong or right? Wrong. Why? In that return, you have to consider this ALP. So because you only asked the what? Advanced pricing agreement. They given the advanced pricing agreement also. Now you have to file the return along with the whatever that ALP given in the what? Advanced pricing agreement. Okay, safe side you filed return. Now this return we have to do what? Modify. This is not a correct return. This is a return you filed with the ALP based on your own computation. That is not correct. You have to file the return with the whatever that ALP given in the what? APA. Simply, what is the time limit for the modification? Simple, listen. APA entered, month ending, next within how many months? 3 months. Very, very, very important MCQ, listen. Sir, if you already filed the return, that you have to modify it within how many months? APA entered, month ending, next 3 months. Listen, in our example, he filed the modified return on February 14. Whether it is filed within the time or after the time? Within the time. Last day available for filing the modified return is March 31st. But we filed on what? 14. So now listen. If this year return already if you file, you have to file the modified return. Then what about last year's? Already last year's returns filed, assessments also closed. Now you have to file the modified returns for these years. If okay, for these years rollback not applicable, ignore. For these years rollback is applicable. For these years you have to file the modified return from which date? APA entered month ending within 3 months. Clear? Then what about these years? Freshly we can file the returns because already we know APA advance pricing agreement what ALP. This year why we will modify ma? Because already we file the return. If not filed, freshly you can file. Understood? So now we can start the point. My first point. Okay. First point. When you file the return, this one in November month. November month. Okay. November month you file the return. But when you file the modified return, February month. Sir, whenever you file the return, directly AO will start the what ma? Assessment on this return, right? Verification of the return of income will done by the assessing officer. That is only called as what ma? Assessment. That is only called as what? Assessment. Listen carefully. Now, assessment is done or completed. Assessment is done or pending ma? Pending before filing the what ma? Modified return. Sir, you started the assessment, but assessment is continuing till this date. Then what we can say? Sir, please stop your hard work, sir. That is a waste return. You are doing assessment on this waste return. That is irrelevant, sir. So now what we can say? It is invalid, sir. It is invalid. Please conduct the assessment on the what ma? Modified return. Whatever that assessment you done till now, that is useless, sir, because that return itself what we modified. So please conduct the return assessment on what ma? Modified return. Sir, now AO will ask them, sir, my time wasted, sir. Now you are asking again assessment on the modified return. So that's why we can ask, we can give the extension of how many months time? If you want to complete the assessment on this return, general time limits will be there for assessment. What is that? 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year or 12 months from the notice issued under section 148. The time limits now added. How many months ma? 12 months. Second one, it is perfect person. He is doing his work perfectly. He don't have any other avocations also. So that's why what he done? He completed assessment. Immediately in next month itself, he completed assessment before filing the what? Modified return. Superman. He done everything perfectly, but that is ultimately waste only. Why? This return itself we are going to modify, but on this return he completed the what? Assessment before the what ma? Modified return filing. Now what we can do? We can say simply sorry. Okay. Then please start the assessment again on what? Modified return. Earlier we are given the what ma? Extension. Because assessment not done, we are saying please stop that and continue the assessment on what ma? Modified return. So that's why we are given the extension. Here assessment already done. So that's why we can give the what? Fresh time limit. Modified return filing year ending within what ma? 1 year you have to complete the assessment. It is very important point if you understood the concept. Sir, normally when this issue will arise, if you file the return. If you not file the return, then simply you can file the return normally only. Yes, for which years we can file the modified return ma? This year and last 4 years we have to file the modified return after APA entered month ending within how many months ma? 3 months. Now listen carefully. If assessment is pending, we can give extension. If assessment already done, We can give the fresh time limit. How many years, ma? 1 year. Date of filing of modified return year ending next 1 year. You should complete the assessment of the what, ma? Modified return. Clear? Yes. Now you can open the one question. One. Shall we start? Look at the screen, right? So RT Limited having an international transaction, it's entered into advance pricing agreement. Okay, that associated enterprise where it is located, Sweden. So they are doing the same identical transactions for the last 5 years, and they haven't intended to continue the the same also for the future. So the same story. If you have submitted the past data, they will give for the future. Now, applicable method in advance pricing agreement, they given the APA method is what? Cost plus method. For this assessment year, they given the ALP is how much, ma? 540. ALP is how much, ma? 540. So now, they given the earlier 5 assessment years data means what? Rollback related. So now they given the earlier 5 assessment years, but rollback is applicable for earlier how many, ma? 4. I will remove this. Why? Earlier 4 only. Next, sir, minimum quantity trading, and these provisions remains unchanged. That means what? Remains unchanged means for that 5 years it will be commonly applicable. Ma, return of income for the year filed or not filed? Not filed. So that means we have to file. We have to file. If it is filed, we have to file the modified return. Clear? Now, now state the assessment years. Listen carefully. First question is very easy. They ask which assessment years APA can be applied starting year and future years. Can you tell me in which year you entered? 26, 27. This is in 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they asked in terms of what, ma? Assessment years. We also written in an assessment years. If they asked in previous years, we can write in previous years. So okay, if this question is difficult also, one part you can write easily, right? Second, how many years rollback can be applicable out of given years? How many years? 4 years. Some part you can write. Next, under which situations rollback is inapplicable? We can write it down. We can check it out. Sir, out of these 4 years, if you want to take the rollback for the given years, you should file the return of income on or before due date. We can check. Ma, this is an assessment year. What is the previous year? 24, 25, 23, 24, 22, 21, 22, right? So now check it out. Return filed within the due date or after? After. Ma, return of income due date in assessment year 31st 11 2025, but you filed in 26. Next one, within or after? Within. Next one, ma? Within. Next one, ma? Within only. Ma? Within only, right? So now, which one we have to delete? For this year, rollback we can't give. Why? All the condition we have to satisfy, but written condition is not satisfied. That's why we can't give the rollback. Next points, please check. Ma, here there is a worst thing in our examination. In this entire question, they are not given it as an what sale. Okay, they are not given as an what sale. Based on some points, we traded. So that means sale. Okay, sale. Now listen carefully. All of you, last point, you easily this question is done. Listen. Ma, ALP for the last years as per assessment done. Earlier years you filed the return. That return already done as an what assessment. In this, what is that sale price or ALP determined the given. Now, if you computed ALP by using the what advance pricing agreement, this is only rollback provisions will applicable if your total income is increased or loss is decreased. Can you tell me previously 530 now it is 550, increased or decreased? Increased. That means previously we recognized income as an 530 only. Now we want to recognize it as an 550. Now reduce. So that's why reduced means I want to delete this year from the applicability of rollback. Why? Because of this rollback provisions application, the total income is reduced. Next, increased or reduced? So that means out of that given years, the 2 years only rollback applicable. That is what 22, 23 and 24, 25. 22, 23, 24, 25. Now they are asking what is the duty on the RT limited part of the filing of return of income. They have to file the return of incomes from the month ending in which APA entered. Can you tell me APA entered date they given? Yes. APA entered date from that month ending 3 months. What is that 31st December 2025 plus month ending, that is only right. Oh, okay. Sorry. 12/1/2025. This month ending means 31st/1/2025 plus 3 months, that is 30th/4/2026. Understood? Whenever you entered into APA entered month ending, within how many months we have to file the return? 3 months. From that month ending in which APA entered, so that APA entered month ending within 3 months. Clear? So we discussed about the advance pricing agreement also, effect of advance pricing agreement also done. Now we can start with the one more important concept. What is that? Primary adjustment and secondary adjustment. What is the section number? CE, continuation only. What is that? 92 CE, continuation provision only. After the break, I think we started the 92 CA, reference to TPO. CB, later we can discuss. CC, advance pricing agreement. CD, effect of APA. CE, secondary adjustment and primary adjustment. So, but secondary adjustment only, but I will tell you primary adjustment concept also along with the secondary adjustment. Okay, I will take this in detailed manner, and they are given this question also in examinations. Listen carefully. We can complete everything within a 1 hour also. Entire DT syllabus also we can complete within 1 hour. But if it is completed within 1 hour, that is revision for me, not for you. Okay. Any time, if you want to listen class also, if you want to practice it also, take important areas. Please be perfect in that important areas. Okay, just you are referring it and you are okay, you are lefting that concept, and if you are going with other concept, there is no use. Whatever the concept you are picking for your exam preparation, please perfect over it. Then after you can do dance with the other concepts. Now, secondary adjustment. Now we'll discuss Tell me, ma. Very easy, just I will tell you. Whatever the total income increased or loss reduced based on the ALP, that is only primary adjustment. Okay, in our basic example, how much per computer we increased the total income? We are adjusting some total income, that is increasing of what, ma? 6,000. That is only primary adjustment. That is only what, primary adjustment. Who can do the primary adjustment, First, SSC. I can do primary adjustment increasing the total income. Okay, next, who will recompute it, AO. That means at the time of assessment, he can compute the ALP. He can also adjust the total income. That means second, who can do the primary adjustment? AO. But instead of this nonsense only, we entered into APA. That means if APA, ALP is there, based on that also we can do what, primary adjustment. My total income is 10 lakh. If I am applying the ALP given in advance pricing agreement, I can increase 2 lakh. Now what is that adjustment done? 2 lakh increase. That is also what, primary adjustment. Remember, primary adjustments can be done in many ways. First one, SSC. Second one, AO. Third one, APA. Fourth one, safe harbor rules. What is that? Safe harbor rules. Are general, harbor means what? One side you are. Okay, harbor means nothing but what? Telugu levantarra wood. Pakkan undatam. Safe side. So nothing but in every transactions, you can keep one margin safely. That is only what, in always I will tell you one example also. If you are providing software services, your cost, and if you are charging proper margin, that is only ALP. Who said this? Rules said this. Which rules? Safe harbor rules. But remember, if you are following the safe harbor rules, then department will not question about the ALP. Safe harbor rules limited for software services, knowledge process, outsourcing services, manufacturing of core components, non-core components. In certain cases, simply you can find out your ALP. If you found ALP by using the safe harbor rules, department will accept the price or reject the price? Accept the price. Then no need of recomputation also by the whom? AO. So now, if you followed the safe harbor rules also, you will get the ALP. Means nothing but primary adjustment can be done by using the what? Safe harbor rules. Last one, DTAA or mutual agreement procedures based also we can do what? Primary adjustment. So now how many totally? 5. Primary adjustment can be done by the first SSC, AO, next one APA, safe harbor rules, MAP. MAP or DDA. MAP means mutual agreement procedure. By using any one of these, not all of these, any one of these, SSC income increased, that is only called as what? Primary adjustment. Loss decreased also called as what? Primary adjustment only. Okay. So now, how much income increased here? 5 crore. That is called as primary adjustment. Remember, primary adjustment effect always it will create impact on what? Profit or income. My profit increased, my income increased. How much? 5 crore. Now, our ABC Limited is doing the what? Purchases from the our B Limited purchasing from whom? Associated enterprise. Right? Now, how much excessively we paid to them? 5 crore. Now we increased that 5 crore, right? But remember, how much excessively we paid? Totally 5 crore. Now we increased the 5 crore to the total income of B Limited. It is only called as what? Primary adjustment. Okay, in our basic example, how much per computer increased? Right? How much excessively we paid? 6,000. But per unit we discussed in that example. Now I told total. Okay. Now, if you verified the total income or profit, B Limited is in very good position. Why profit increased? Because you paid, okay, simple example, we paid 25 crores. But exactly how much we have to pay? 20 crores. We paid excessively how much? So our income reduced at a certain extent, now we increased. But if you verified your cash balance, profit increase, total income increased, okay. If you verified the cash balance and actual profit, imbalance is there or there is no imbalance? Very imbalance is there. Total income increased, but cash position already you paid excessively to them. So that's why cash shortage, how much will be there? 5 crore. Now in order to remove that imbalance, we have to do what? Secondary adjustment. In order to remove the imbalance, we have to do what? Secondary adjustment. Remember, primary adjustment always we are doing to the total income. Okay. Secondary adjustment we will do in the books of accounts of SSC and AE. So now I will ask the repatriation of 5 crores. I will write it down in my books. They will also write it down in their books. Remember, secondary adjustment where we can do? Books. Why we can do secondary adjustment? In order to remove the imbalance between the what? Cash and actual profit. Again I will say, if primary adjustment amount is more than 1 crore, then only we have to do the secondary adjustment. If primary adjustment amount is more than how much? 1 crore, then only we can do what? Secondary adjustment. All of you. Now, if possible, please open the concept book. Okay, if you have other, okay, soft copies are already available in our website itself or in Telegram groups also. If you want, you can download and you can check it out. Now, I will tell you this entire concept from the concept book. So, I will try to tell you some examples also. Listen carefully, all of you. Okay, tell me, what is the section number applicable now? 92C. Primary adjustment means what? Primary adjustment means what? We can done increase or reduction of loss because of which adjustment? ALP adjustment. Because of ALP adjustment, whatever that income increased or loss reduced, that is only primary adjustment. Remember, whatever excess money with the AE is there, now we want to repatriate that is only we can call it as what? Secondary adjustment. In our example, what is that excess money is with the AE? 5 crore. We have to repatriate that 5 crore. Now, they will given time to repatriate. Okay, 90 days time. How many days time? 90 days. If you not repatriated, look at me. If you are not repatriated that 5 crore within 90 days, after 90 days, that is treated as an loan or advance given to that fellow. Okay, so nothing but how much loan or advance we given 5 crore. Please repatriate within 90 days. If you are not repatriated within 90 days, then we treat it as an you given the loan or advance to them. How much 5 crore. Listen, sir, if that is a loan or advance given to the entity 5 crore, what is the loss to us? I will tell you. Every year we have to calculate interest on that loan. That interest is treated as income. On that we have to pay what? Tax. It is a burden definitely. So that's why you have to repatriate within 90 days. If you not repatriated within 90 days, that is treated as loan. On that loan, every year you have to calculate the interest. On that interest, you have to pay every year tax. So now I will open again. Listen, so that is treated as deemed loan or dividend to AE. Sir, we are following which approach? India always following which approach? Deemed loan or deemed advance point. Excess money means what? Difference between ALP and ADP. ALP and ADP difference only we can call it as what? Excess money. Here difference between these two only we can call it as what? Excess money of what? 5 crore in this example. Why we can do the secondary adjustment? In order to remove the imbalances between the cash and in order to remove the imbalances between the cash account and actual profit. So now already I told when we can do the primary adjustment, SSE can do sumotoli, AO can do also, APA also, safe harbor rules also, DTA and so that means we discussed already who can do the primary adjustment. Remember, any one of the case only possible, not all. Understood? Now tell me, yes, clearly act saying that non-repatriation is treated as what? Advance. Non-repatriation, if you are not repatriated within 90 days, that is treated as what? Advance. Now listen. A Limited entered into the transaction with the AE. Actual transaction price, this one, sales transaction, listen. Sales. We have to create the income of 4,760, but we created income how much? 3,000 lakh. Difference between these two is excess money, how much? 1,760. That means how much income we reduced in our books? 1,760. Now we increased. That is what? Primary adjustment. Primary adjustment. Now how much less amount we collected from them? 1,760. We have to collect 4,760, but we collected how much? 3,000 only. Now how much excess money with them? 1,760. We have to repatriate within 90 days. Otherwise what? Loan. On that loan we have to calculate interest. Sir, up to which date we have to calculate interest? Very serious point. Until its repatriation. After 20 years, if you want to do repatriation, up to 20 years, every year, loan, interest, income. So that is treated as loan. Every year we have to calculate interest. That interest is added to income from other sources. On that we have to pay the tax. Till when? Repatriation. Okay. Now, if you know this table, then only you can do the questions also. Openly. Try to remember this step. Sir, we are easily said that 90 days. From which date 90 days? From which date 90 days? Important. Listen. If primary adjustment is done by the AO, next one APA, next one mutual agreement procedure. Can you tell me any other reasons? Means what are their safe harbor rules? SSC sumoto, right? Understood? 5 totally covered. Now time limit for repatriation. What is that? Time limit for what? Repatriation. How many days? 90 days. That 90 days time counted from the here. What is that? Date of AO order. Here AO done the primary adjustment, right? When we will know about that adjustment, if AO given the order, that order date to 90 days, you have to do the repatriation. Okay, sumotoli safe harbor from the due date of return of income, not from the date of filing of return. From due date itself, 90 days we have to count. Within the 90 days, repatriate. Otherwise, it is treated as what? Loan. Next, this is also order of AO only. But here you have to take care properly. APA point. Shall we start APA pointer? APA entered up to the due date of what ma? Return of income. Ma, what is the return of income due date ra generally? 30th 11. Okay ra. Now APA entered 8th of an assessment year ra. So that means up to or after ra? Up to. APA entered into APA by the SSC up to the due date of filing of return of income. Second one ma, after. What is that after? Example please tell me ma. 12 of an what ma? Assessment year. Just example I am taken. Now in first case you have to count the 90 days from the actual date of filing of what ma? Return. Ma, what is that ma? Actual date of filing of return. Next one ma. Ma, next one. 90 days counted from the APA entered month ending. Next how many days ra? 90 days. Ma, now what are the points we discussed? Just 90 days counted from the which date? 90 days is counted from the which date? So please tell me date of, okay, first one ma, if order given by the AO, date of order of AO next 90 days. Okay, next suo motu reason or safe harbor rules ra. Due date next 90 days. Here AO order. If APA entered before the due date, actual date of filing of return of income next 90 days. Here after APA entered month ending how many days ma? 90 days. Sir. Sir, listen. SSC computed ALP on suo motu basis ra. Primary adjustment done. Who done the primary adjustment? SSC. Now ra, due date after that, how many days time they've given ra? 90 days. If not repatriated, we need to treat it as a loan. On that we have to calculate what ma? Interest. Students are doing misconception again. Interest period ends when ma? Till repatriation. But starting from the 91 day, right? No, that is only the trap. Interest period, students will think from the, sir, they given time limit for 90 days, sir. After 90 days, then we can start the interest computation. No, you can compute the interest on this time, but interest period also clearly they given in the act. Ma, listen carefully. Here same or different ra? Same. That means we have to calculate interest from the 91st day or from date which we counted 90 days. From the date we counted the 90 days. Here also same or check. That's why that is only we counted 90 days from this date. From this date only we have to calculate what interest. Not from 91st day. We have to calculate interest from the date on which we counted the 90 days. Okay, logically whatever the green points highlighted, so same time limit. 90 days counted from here. From that date only we have to calculate interest. I think this is also same, right? And one more thing, this is also same. Where we haven't difference ra? This is only difference. What is the difference ma? If APA entered before the due date, here 90 days started from the date of filing. Here interest will compute from the what ma? Due date of return of income. Ma, this is a table is very important. Otherwise you can't do the questions also. Understood? Ma, 90 days shall be counted from which date? Interest computed from which date till repatriation also you have to know. Sir, okay, we can compute the interest also. What is the interest rate, sir? That is only next discussion. What is the rate of interest on what ma? Excess money. Yes, if the transaction denominated in Indian currency, one way. If the transaction is denominated in the foreign currency, another way. Indian currency, foreign currency. If that is denominated in Indian currency, yes ma, 1 year marginal cost of lending rate SBI, that means every year SBI 1 year lending rate they will give that rate plus what ma, margin how much ma, 3.25. If that is denominated in foreign currency, LIBOR rate, 6 months LIBOR rate, 30th September LIBOR rate plus what ma, 3% margin. The margin you have to remember, in exam they will give the rate also, but they can confuse you. They will give the RBI rates also, other banks rates also, but which bank rate we have to take? SBI. Here LIBOR rate. What is the margin? 3.25 to that Indian bank rate related. Here 3%. Ma, understood? So one more point I want to convey. What is that ma? One more point I want to convey. I think I given this. Listen, this example. Okay, if you understood this example, this concept is over. There is no other point also. Listen. Ma, A Limited, in which year we are doing the sales ma? 22, 23. ATP is 6 crores. ALP is, okay, for our Indian entity, it is an what sales. For our Indian entity, it is an what ma? Sales. Okay. Now, what is the primary adjustment we made on that time ma? Ma, remember, we reported 6 crores only, but actually what we have to report as an sales 8.2. How much reduced on that time? 2.2. Now we increased that is sir, can you tell me this primary adjustment amount is more than 1 crore? Yes. So that's why immediately we have to do the secondary adjustment. Okay. Now listen, repatriation we have to do. Ma, example this is our assumption. This is done sumotoli. Sumotoli done means repatriation we have to do within 90 days from the due date. Okay, tell me ma, on that year what is the due date? Okay, for this previous year what is the due date? 30th 11/2023. Ma, understood? For this previous year this is an due date. 90 days, please count. 28th. Okay. If I am not done the repatriation, now we have to compute the interest, yes ma, from this date to year end. Why? Every year you have to calculate interest separately, not combinedly for all years. You have to compute interest for every year. In this year, how many days? 121 days. Please calculate. In 24-25 also repatriation not done. That year completely you can calculate the interest. Remember, interest we have to compute every year separately, not for the 10 years, 20 years directly. Why? We have to pay the tax every year, not combinedly. Okay. Now, SSC is feeling tax burden. Why? Sir, that worst fellow is not giving the 2.2 crores. If you given, that's okay. I requested multiple times, they are not given. Now, you are always saying that you are not repatriated, so that is loan. Every year you have to calculate the interest. Tell me whether it is burden or not a burden, ma? Burden. Now, department is given the option, sir, instead of paying the interest every year, please pay the what ma? Additional income tax. What is the rate? Very, very important MCQ. What is the additional income tax rate ma? 20.9664. 20.9664. On which date he wants to pay? 1st July. What is that? 1st July. Which year ma? 25, 26. That means in this, up to this year 24, 25, he paid the interest related tax only. This interest is added to the income from other sources. On that he will always pay the tax. But here he wants to exit from this computation. That's why one time if you paid this tax on that what ma excess money 2 point what ma 2 crore. What is that additional income tax ma? 2.2 crore into 20.9664 percentage. How much you will get? Ra? This is only additional income tax. One time please pay this. Then they will give the relaxation from the what ma secondary adjustment. But here one important point. From which date you will get relaxation ma? July 1st, right? 2025. 1/4/2025. 31st March 2026. Yes ma? From this date onwards, you are getting the relaxed from the interest computation. But before this, you have to compute the interest. Why? Here you paid the additional income tax on July 1st. Additional income tax you are paying on what? July 1st. Yes, up to July 1st you have to calculate interest. From July 1st onwards, no need to calculate. So now tell me how many days are there up to July ma? April, May, June, July. June month only. July 1st means nothing but on this day you are relaxed from this. So nothing but 3 months, totally 91 days. Understood? Many students are thinking that, sir, in this year we paid the additional income tax, no need to calculate. You paid that, accepted, but up to this period you are not relaxed from this. Up to that period you have to calculate the interest. What is the additional income tax rate ma? All of you 20 point. How we can get also clearly I given here, you can check it out. Yes, if an SSE pays the additional income tax, he will not required to make the secondary adjustment or compute the interest from which date? Date of payment of such tax. From July 1st onwards, no need to calculate interest. Up to July 1st, you have to calculate interest. Understood? So now, listen. Now, 2 more sections I want to convey. Listen, quickly we can complete it. These 2 only. I am highlighting with a pink color. Check it out. What is that? 92D, 92E. 92D, 92E. Without these 2 sections, with the 2 sections related penalty, there is no question paper till now. Penalties also now I am conveying in this only. Listen carefully. What is that? 92D, 92E. 92D already you know what is that? Records to be maintained. If you are not maintain these records, penalty is 271 AA. Audit report you have to submit under 92E. If you not submitted the audit report, you have to pay the penalty under section BA. Continuation, section numbers also continuation, penalty sections also continuation, AA, BA. Shall we, Anna? Okay, concept book please open, ma. (92D). Listen. Ma 92D means already you know where we discussed ma. AO required to recompute the ALP. Simple ra. If an SSE entered into international transaction, specified domestic transaction, so they have to maintain the prescribed documents as prescribed by whom? CBDT. This provision is mandatory if your international transaction exceeding what? 1 crore. This is mandatory for you if your international transaction value is more than 1 crore. But in my case, I will always maintain. Why? They will ask the records. If I am not submitting, they will recompute the ALP on their own. I think you know, we have to maintain the records. If not maintain, always they will recompute the ALP based on what? TPO reference. So that's why, remember here I written aggregate value of the transaction even is less than 1 crore, SSC will maintain the adequate records. Evidence to international transactions are associated with the what on the basis of ALP. Some cases, even though it is not mandatory also, safe side we can maintain the records. Remember, sir, in general, in law also, anywhere also, if any document, if they ask, within 30 days we have to submit generally. But 92D records, within how many days we have to submit? 10 days. If they asked within how many days we have to submit? 10 days. Next, but it is very short time. So that's why they can extend the period of 10 days by the further period also. That means extension possible or not possible? Possible. But total, original plus extension, it shall not exceed how many days? 30 days. These points are enough to score the marks, but last point is very important. How many years we have to maintain? 8 years. How many years? 8 years. Very important MCQ. From the end of the relevant assessment year. How many years? 8 years. Remember, the time limit is counted from the assessment year ending, not previous year ending. Assessment year ending 8 years. Whatever the documents you maintain, you have to held in your books only 8 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. Now, what is my doubt? Sir, any one of these points are not satisfied, then what is a penalty I have to pay? Records to be maintained this provision. If you are not maintained, penalty. What is a penalty? 2% of value of what? International transaction or specified domestic transaction. This is in your exam MCQ. How much amount of transaction we entered? 20 crore. Out of the 20 crore transaction, that means mandatory only this provision. Why? 1 crore exceeds. Value of transaction exceeds 1 crore. This is mandatory. Now, out of that 5 crores transaction related records not maintained properly. So now 2% is applied on the total part or defaulted part? Defaulted part. In exam, if you applied on the total part, that is not correct. To which extent we are not maintain the record properly, on that value of the transactions only we have to apply the 2%. Which section? 271A. Now we'll discuss the 92E. After that we can discuss the penalty provision also. 92E means, what is that 92E? Listen audit report. If you entered into this transaction, yes, you have to submit the CA audit report under 92E. What is the form number? 3CEB. What is the date? Return filing. Yes, what is the return filing? That exactly 1 month before. What is that? 31st October of what? Assessment year. If you not submitted this report, that means CA report, chartered accountant report, if you not submitted within the time, then what is the penalty you have to face? 1 lakh. Which section? 271BA. What is the section? 271BA. 92D, 92E. Yes, consecutive provisions. The penalty is also 271BA. Sorry, 271AA and 271BA. Fixed penalty. How much? 1 lakh. So now I will start the one more section here. Listen. Specified domestic transaction meaning, sir. 92B is international transaction. Now we have to start the 92BA. What is that? Specified domestic transaction. Specified domestic transaction. Now listen. You know already some things. We can do tax avoidance by using the entities in the other countries generally. Okay, I think in our example, Indian entity is diverting the profits to the another entity that is located in tax haven. So, but in our domestic transactions also we can do the what ma tax avoidance. So now by using these sections ma, these are the very dangerous sections. 100% of your income you can take it as what deduction. 80 series of chapter 6a deductions that is you can take the 100% of your business income as an deduction. Okay, simple now I am opting the general rates my company. Okay, general rates 30%. If I am entered into any transaction with the, if any company opted the 115 BAB, they are opting the rates, concessional rates, right? What is it? 115 BAB concessional rate ma 15% plus 10% plus 4%. So any business transaction between the, if any company opted this and person to whom company has a close connection. Next also cooperative societies BAE. What is that BAE rate? Same 15% plus 10% plus 4%. But the condition last point is very important. If all the above transaction aggregatedly if exceeds how much value during the year 20 crore, then only such a transaction we can call it as what specified domestic transaction. What is that? Specified domestic transaction. Clear? Now last attempt they given one question. They are asking, state with the brief reasons whether the following transactions are what international, specified, regular. So now please check the first point and tell me that is an international transaction or not, or regular or specified. Parent company, yes ma, parent company, it is a non-resident and it is a resident, both are what ma A's. So that's why it is called as what ma international ma. Understood? Next ma, second point. Ma ma wait, yes sir. Now please check here one company is there. Which company ma? Indian company purchases electronics from the subsidiary company. Yes, that is located in SEZ. So just now we referred this also section 10AA. So that is also now we can call it as what? Specified domestic transaction. Third one ma? Third one ma, we sold one, sorry, we sold which thing okay, we sold power generated. Okay, whatever the power we generated, we sold to our related party at a premium price. So that is normal. It is not related to 10AA or 80IA or 115 BAA, sorry, BAB or BAE. It is an what? Regular business transaction. But now if you observed this, that company opted which section ma? 115 BAB. With that companies we entered into the transaction means generally I have to pay 30%. If I am entered into the transaction with them, if I am diverting the profits, automatically I can do what ma? Tax avoidance. This is called as what? Specified domestic transaction. Specified domestic transaction. Sir, you have to write the reason also. In the question what they asked, state with the brief reason. You have to write it down 4 or 5 lines. They can expect 10 lines also sometimes. Okay. So now we can close this session for now. And listen, I will tell you what I am going to upload also. Don't feel. Intentionally only I done in this order. Listen, intentionally only I done in this order 94B. Yes, I will upload the one video. The duration may be 45 minutes. Yes, that you have to watch it because it is an weightage of 7 marks. And methods for computation of ALP also I will upload. But every method, first concept I will explain. 1 or 2 question. That video I have, I will also upload. It is also 7 marks. Okay. Next, other concepts related, the safe harbor rules, that all the things. The safe harbor rules, exams, maybe they can ask, but they will ask for MCQ also. I will try to check if that is a video having the less duration, I will add it to also. Okay. But Pakka I will upload these 2. Tomorrow we will go with the assessment of various entities. But before doing that assessment of various entities, the mainly I will concentrate on the matter. Because 7 marks definitely they will give. The remaining concepts I will go in a preferential way. But for doing the comprehensive sums in the assessment of various entities, definitely we have to check what? PCBP chapter also. Okay. If you haven't time, go through it. Otherwise, we can discuss tomorrow.